Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Sutliffe, health educator and registered dietitian for Optimize for Life. This month, we're going to talk about 10 great sleep strategies you can use to implement into your life to have optimum living. Let's start with number one. The first thing I want you to think about doing is establishing a consistent sleep and wake schedule. Your body wants to run on a regular schedule, even on weekends. I know that's hard, but a lot of us go to bed at a regular time during the week, get up at a regular time, and on weekends we change that schedule, and then come Monday morning we hit the wall. So what I want you to do is try to establish a consistent sleep and wake schedule, and try to keep that even on weekends. That would be ideal. So get into a pattern, get into a rhythm, and try to keep that 7 days a week. That'd be ideal. If you need to, maybe pick up a nap here or there. Naps can be good if they're short and not too close to your regular bedtime. So establish that consistent sleep and wake schedule every day of the week. Number two, I want you to try to create a regular bedtime ritual. So many times we work right up until the time we go to bed, and then we go to bed and a lot of times we're thinking and processing the things of the day. Maybe you're watching TV, maybe you're watching a sporting event, something that maybe was exciting you, or doing some kind of raising the heart rate, things like that. So what I want you to do is try to unplug from your electronics, try to get away from bright lights, even your computer screen, at least 30 to 40 minutes before you go to bed. So try to create a regular, relaxing bedtime routine. Maybe you want to soak in a tub, maybe you just want to meditate, have prayer. Just unplug from the electronics, kind of calm yourself down. Maybe read a good book that's not going to maybe be too exhilarating. But what I want you to do is create a regular, relaxing bedtime routine. That's strategy number two. The next thing you want to do is number three, is create a sleep conducive environment. So I'm talking now about the sleeping chamber. Ideally, your sleeping area, your bedroom, wherever you're going to be sleeping, would be neat and clean. You'd do regular laundry with your sheets and with your bedding. And what you also want to do is make sure that it's also a dark environment, so that you're not having any light stimulation even through the closed eyelids. So you're sleeping in a dark, and I want it to be cool. You want it to be cool. You don't want it to be too warm. Okay? You want to maybe add extra blankets if you need to add a little bit of warmth to the room. So a little bit of cool. During the day, it'd be nice to air out the bed, and also maybe make sure there's some air exchange in the bedroom chamber. Maybe it's an open window, or maybe just open the windows for a little while. Open the drapes, let some sun in there. So you also want it to be quiet, away from noises and things like that. And so again, you want to create a sleep-conducive environment. Next, number four. Ideally, we're going to be sleeping on a comfortable mattress and pillows. Okay? So a comfortable bed and pillow. Now you need to experiment with this a little bit. And sometimes we need to look at our beds. I know my wife and I, we looked at our bed recently. It's about 12 years old, the mattress was. And you could see some distinct divots where we both like to lay. And we were also flipping our bed and our mattress about once a month. We would flip that and go end for end, and then we'd flip it over the next month. And we were always rotating so we get even wear on the bed. And finally, we just replaced it, and we're actually we didn't realize it, but we actually increased our sleep quite a bit. So, sleep on a comfortable mattress and pillows. Number five, you want to use your bedroom, excuse me, and your sleeping area for sleep only. Ideally, you won't be watching TV, you won't be paying the bills or having the computer work on your bed. Ideally, in your bedroom, you just want to use that for relaxation. Maybe do a little bit of reading to get you ready to go to sleep. And then what you want to do is just use it for a nice sleep-conducive environment where you only use in the bedroom for sleep. Okay, number six. This is a big one. As a dietitian, I look at this quite a bit. You want to finish eating your last meal or snack at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. Okay? So stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed. Okay, what we're going on here is what we want to see is that the digestive system wants to be done digesting that last meal when you're getting ready to go to bed. You don't want your stomach and your digestive system having to work through the night and through the even into the morning to digest food. So what you want to do is schedule that last meal, 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. Because another thing we want to look at too is that we release human growth hormone while we're sleeping. And if there's a lot of food in the system, okay, while we're trying to sleep, and it's raising your blood sugar levels in a sense suppress or cut down on the amount of human growth hormone you can produce while you're sleeping. So sleeping hours are the best time to release the human growth hormone, but if our blood sugar levels are going up too high from the food we're eating, what we'll see is that it'll actually suppress the amount of human growth hormone that we naturally produce. Okay? So number 7, the next thing we want to look at is you want to exercise regularly during the day. Okay? So exercise on a regular basis. And ideally, what you'll do is you'll cut back on the amount of physical activity where you're getting your heart rate up, your blood pressure's going up and so forth, as you're getting closer to go to bed. Okay? We don't want it to be artificially elevated. Some people are, they can exercise up until a couple hours before they go to bed, and they can hit the pillow and be fine. Most people, though, we need to find that especially as we age, we don't want to be exercising too late in the day, especially real strenuous, intense exercise. Okay, number 8, another food and beverage strategy. We want to avoid caffeine, alcohol, and tobacco. Okay, so avoid alcohol, caffeine, and tobacco. All of these products right here, in a sense, suppress the amount of melatonin you produce naturally in the brain. Okay, there's a little gland in the brain called the pineal gland, and what we find that is we're getting closer to sundown, and as the sun's going down, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, maybe a little earlier in the winter, we start seeing that melatonin is produced naturally, and melatonin is actually a calming hormone that we produce, and it helps us to feel sleepy. And so what we find that when we take caffeine, alcohol, and tobacco products in, that actually suppresses the amount of melatonin you'll naturally produce. So what we also find that it not only helps you get to sleep, but melatonin is actually a restorative hormone that helps replenish, rejuvenate the body. Okay, so we want to get peak melatonin production while we're getting ready to go to sleep, and even into the night it'll be produced in large quantities while we're sleeping. But we find that if you drink alcohol, use caffeine and tobacco, that actually suppresses the amount of the melatonin that you will actually produce naturally in the brain. Okay, another thing we want to look at, another strategy we want to look at, is that possibly what you want to do is use a little journal or keep a sleep log. And what this will do is help you establish a routine that works best for you. And you can kind of, in your sleep log, maybe you want to say how well you slept the night before, and maybe you want to keep a journal of how late in the day you worked out, how much food you ate, when was the last time you ate, those types of things. So keeping a log or a journal can help you strategize what exactly is the best ritual for you specifically. And then the last strategy we want to look at happens to be the one that probably is the most important, is that we, first of all, need to realize that we need to learn to value sleep. Okay? So you need to value sleep. What we find is that if you have a little extra work to do, or something you want to get done, or maybe you want to watch something, a sporting event, or travel somewhere, the first thing we see people starting to do is that they'll go to bed later, or they'll get up earlier, or do both. And so we start burning the candle at both ends. So what we need to do is start realizing and guarding that sleep really is really the basis of all of our health. Because if we're not sleeping well, we tend to overeat, and end up eating more calories. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that we value and guard our sleep, because it sets the tone for all of our health habits. An unrested person, a person who has too little sleep, okay? And that's what I want to look at, is that ideally we'd be sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night. Everybody's a little bit different, but the study and all the research is showing that the benefits begin that you need to get at least 7 hours of sleep and not more than 9. The types of health risks that go up with not enough sleep, like diabetes, heart disease, accidents and things like that, we see the same thing if you start getting too much sleep over 9 hours. So ideally we'd be in the 7 to 9 range here, okay? And again, we want to look at trying to get to bed around 10 to 10:30 at night at the very latest. Because what we find is that when the body goes into a deep sleep cycle, that we release a lot of human growth hormone around 11 to 2 a.m. So 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. is when we're releasing the most amount of human growth hormone. And if we're not in bed and we're not in a deep sleep during that time, we will not achieve the high levels of human growth hormone production that we need to rejuvenate the body and rebuild the tissues and repair the different situations in the body. So ideally we're getting 7 to 9, and we're getting our sleep, going to bed at 10 to 10:30 at the very latest, okay? And then getting up on a regular schedule, building that into the system. So learn to value sleep. Follow these. Maybe you want to pick a couple to start with and start incorporating them, so that over the next 3 to 4 weeks that you're actually incorporating all 10 of these strategies, so that a month from now your sleep will be great, you'll be rejuvenated, you'll actually feel better, you'll actually want to exercise more, and when we're well rested we actually have more time and more focused energy to prepare better foods, or we have to take more time to do the spiritual things in life as well, and so we feel rested. Okay, so apply these to your life, and that's this month's health tip, the 10 great sleep strategies. I wish you the best. Thank you. So these are the 10 great sleep strategies that we just covered in the last few minutes. So apply these to your life over the next 30 days, and hopefully they'll become a habit for life.